Hey, what's happening? Before we jump into the show, I wanted to see if you had any music on a hard drive. You have a band, you have a project, and you want to self-release your own music. Well, there's an easy way to do it. You can go to distrokid.com/VIP/hyphenate and go get your music up on all the streamers. You keep 100% of your royalties, and you can get 30% off by using this code. It's a great, easy way to get your music up on the streamers and share it with your fans, your friends, your family, your mom, your dog, everybody. Everyone wants to hear it. But go to distrokid.com/VIP/hyphenate, HYPHENATE, and send me the link. I want to hear it too. Send your mom the link. Send your dog the link. They all want to hear it too. Welcome to Hyphenate Halftime. This is our show for Monday, August 17th. Welcome, everybody. Joining me, as always, is my co-host on this halftime wrap-up show, Mr. Aaron Farley. How do you do, Mr. Aaron Farley?
I am doing well.
Very good.
My hair, I'm looking at my hair right now, and I'm like,
yeah.
What is happening?
Oh, you got a little comb over?
Got like,
little thing?
Yeah, it's like, it's weird, because I wasn't supposed to be balding.
Oh, is that right?
You know how...
Did you get a notice the balding was canceled for you? Yeah.
Well, no, because you know how they say it's like if your mother's father didn't bald,
that's what they say.
So, I mean, I'm not balding necessarily, but I do have like the widow's peak. Mm-hmm. I have like 5 widow's peaks put together. It's looking like...
They all sort of converge into one area. Oh, I'm with you there, brother.
I guess. But I used to wear, I think I blame it for a long time. I blamed it on because I kind of always wore a hat and did the hat. Like,
I don't think that
counts. I kind of have like a big,
urban myth?
I have like a, well, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's all urban myths, Randy.
Okay.
Science is an urban myth if you read the internet. Which I do, you know.
Sure.
Of course.
I'm a citizen of the world, a netizen.
Listen, we're all humans here, and we all have the same. We have all the same ideas of reality, and some of us think they're smarter than other people because they went to quote unquote 8 years of college to study those things. Well, listen here, I have
my hairline has something to say to you. My scientific hairline.
I have Google Earth, just like you do. And I can look up my own theories of evolution.
Well, yeah, the hair thing is interesting because, I mean, you know, it's inevitable. I feel like, you know, you either got it or you don't. It's genetics at one point.
Yeah.
You know? And I always think about David Letterman. He had like a little island, kind of like a puff, like right in the middle of his, like, you know, like receding hairline.
Yeah.
And I was like,
that's kind of what I have.
Yeah.
I'm kind of starting to get this thing.
It's kind of everything goes back. It starts off as a coastline, then it becomes an isthmus, and then it kind of becomes a peninsula to maybe a little island there in the front. And everything else goes around it. You
know when I actually started noticing that it was a thing? Because I've always had like a 5 head, right?
Sure.
Like I've always had a big forehead. But when I first started noticing it was my first year of teaching, which was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And the kids, the funny kids who were like, "Hey, Mr. Farley, I drew a picture of you," you're like to make a joke or whatever. Yes, and I was like, "Where's my hair?" And they're like, "What do you mean?" And I'm like, and they're like, "Look, ha ha ha, he has a receding hairline or whatever." And I was like,
"No,
do I have a receding hairline?" And I looked,
this is not how I wanted to find out about this.
Wait, I guess I do. I guess I like usually look at it just straight on, and I'm like, yeah, there's less hair there. But when I look down, I'm like, wow, that's really going back there. It's like really reaching.
Yeah,
and it's very funny.
Yeah,
that's where I'm at. So usually this haircut kind of works, but now because I just have it. It's short. It's a little longer on the top, but I also because if I completely shave it. Then it just looks a little weird. Like I don't have that great of it. My shape, the shape of my head.
Kind of push it forward.
Also, the shape of my head is not great. Like some people look good with like a kind of shaved head or like just a little bit of hair. They have a nice shaped head. My hair's I kind of have a blockhead. It's like a little square. It's like flat on top and it goes straight down.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I need a little bit of like a little poof up there to kind of slick back a little. just a touch. But now the slicking back whenever it's windy, it just goes like this.
Woo, right in
and
the
then
middle.
now, and then all of a sudden, I'm
Straight
like,
up.
I have the little what's it called? Like a rooster.
Yeah.
Like a
Faux
rooster
hawk.
top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
which was cool.
I'm pushing my
Back
hair all
in
forward.
when-
I feel like, how are you doing, fellow kids? Is that
You look younger.
right? Yeah, but just push.
Wow, Randy.
Who knows if you just
need-
comb your hair over, if you just take all the hair from the back of your head and then push it all the way to the front of your head. Look at that! Wow, yeah, I feel like I'm 20 years old.
Oh my God, you absolutely look like a different person. That's amazing. Hold on, let me put my glasses on.
I gotta put my reading glasses on to see.
You do. You look
forehead.
10 years younger and weirder. You look a little weirder.
of course.
But you could.
Yeah.
This is for your like science, your math rock band. Like you get those black glasses,
tweezers.
grow the hair out, grow the hair out just a little bit longer, and then really like side part it over.
Get Justin Bieber going. Yeah.
Yeah, and get a just a little swoop, and then dress like dude from Pavement.
Sure, yeah. But I you know what I did? I somewhere in my mid 30s to late 30s, I looked at a picture of Nick Cave.
Oh yeah,
the singer Nick Cave.
Nicholas Cave.
And I just thought that's how you do it. You just own everything. Just it goes back. You wear a suit. I guess I don't wear a suit, but you just push it back, and whatever it is what it is. And you just you sing great songs.
It looks nice.
And you just rock whatever it is that you got on there.
Yeah.
And I think it feels so much better than any kind of like covering up. It's like just no, push it all the way back. This is it. Yeah. This is the whole forehead. You see more of it. I have a mole up somewhere right here that used to be below my hairline. Like or the hairline was below it.
Oh, wow.
And I could see like, oh no, the mole's showing. Oh no, okay, now the mole's like in the middle of my forehead now. And I also have a scar somewhere up here from brain surgery. And that didn't used to be visible, and you can kind of see that if you're looking for it. People don't care. The best thing is people don't care. We're over 40 years old. We're men over 40. No one cares what our hair looks like.
Most people are like especially hanging around like working with kids all day.
Oh yeah.
They're surprised when they find out that I'm 51. 51.
Whoa.
That I'm 51. That they're surprised I'm walking.
Oh right.
Like whoa.
Hey, how are your hips?
Wait, so you were
replacement?
You were born in the 1900s?
Yeah. No,
I think
people only care about your other people only care about your hair when you are trying to do something like to cover it up. It only looks bad when you're trying to. Yeah, if you have like a weird comb over or like our, buffoon Cheeto in charge. You know what I mean? The weirder stuff you do to your hair to make it look like you have hair. That's when people notice it. If you just look like a guy, like an old person, like an older man, and you go, yeah, it's gray, it's going back, it is what it is. But I do respect the full shave, the pit bull. Like if you're going, kind of donut, like real male pattern body, especially if you're young.
Lot.
That happens. Yeah. And that happens to a lot of men. I think, just shave it all off. I think, the Billy Corgan sort of just get rid of all of it. It's fine. You don't have to take the L and have just like the kind of the back donut hair.
Yeah, no. So. Yeah, I have two brother-in-laws that are just fully from a young. One of them started going bald when he was in his 20s, and he just was like zip, like get that out of here.
For a lot of years, I think when I was touring a bunch with No Age and stuff, I embraced the beanie. I was trying to pull like a ZZ Top or the Edge. You know what I mean? If you get known as the guy with the beanie early on, then no one knows what your hair looks like.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh yeah, you were young. When you were young, you had the beanie. Now you're old and you still have the beanie. Look at that. Yeah. You're the beanie guy.
Love the beanie.
You're the hat guy. But then I really had to check myself because it was hot and I was putting this stupid beanie on. And I was like, this is too hot. We're like in July. I'm trying to wear a beanie. And I'm old. I think when I was in those 30s, and when I was younger, I was like, okay, I can pretend I have some fashion sense. But as I aged, I had to cop to it. Just looked foolish or just felt foolish to try to cover anything up. I was like, I enjoy. I mean, I started to just enjoy the age that I've earned, and just feel that thing of like, that's how I look. Anything I do to not look my age is what looks foolish. It's like really looking your age and just embracing whatever that is. That's the best case scenario.
I think late 40s, early 50s, throwing the beanie back on there makes sense.
I think
maybe not in
weather.
the heat. Like, I was going to say when it's 90 degrees and you're still doing that and you have like tight pants on or something.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Then it's a problem.
Over and got tight leather jacket.
Like, no. I still fit into this tight shirt. It's just the tight shirt is now a double XL.
Yeah. No, but also I saw the rise of the beanie. I think the beanie kind of became an accepted cultural thing for a while there. It kind of was the teeny beanie, and you had the different kinds of beanies, and it was a very art directory thing. It kind of became a joke.
And kind of have it like a little hair coming out the front.
Yeah.
Kind of sitting on the back a little. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I just felt like, I was like, you know what? Once it became a more popular thing, I enjoyed it as a weird thing. You know what? Where I really got it, I saw an awesome photo of, oh my,
Ian MacKay?
No. Who is the guy? I want to say like Bunny and the Wailers, or was someone in the reggae scene, wow. And he looked really cool, and he had like a beanie on, and he had kind of like lokes, and then like a buttoned up denim jacket, and I just thought
that makes sense.
Is hard and looks awesome, and then I kind of did it, and I was like, I'm not pulling it off quite as well, but I went with that look for like a number of years, and it was easy for tour also, just to kind of have like a simple, kind of uniform, just cover up. Oh, if I can find that photo, it was such a good photo, and I was like, okay, this is good. This is my beanie.
I like when you used to choose like two shirts or whatever. You're like, what's my tour look? Gonna be for this tour, because then you would know also when like, especially if you wore, didn't you do like a flannel? This was like right before COVID. I feel like after we did the record or when we did the video stuff, and then you were going out on tour, and I feel like there was a thing where you were like, what do you think of this button up or something?
Oh yeah.
And this is going to be like my tour button up.
Yeah. For the next 6 weeks.
But then you would know, but it's real smart, because then if you ever see photos come up of you, where, at least which group of weeks, what run that was. You're like, well, I wore my cream colored button up.
It's true.
Only the East Coast run of whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it makes organizing your photos so much easier.
Yeah. No, I definitely had a whole sort of set of just tour, and again, but it also works just because you're like, you're living out of a backpack, so you can't really do much with it. You know what I mean? You can't bring many things. You're sort of left with what you have. Oh, you're Peter Tosh, that's who it was. It was Peter Tosh.
Peter Tosh.
I'm pretty sure.
Legalize it. Yeah. Don't criticize it. Yeah.
Oh my God! Yeah, there was a great photo of Peter Tosh. I think in the 60s or 70s. He looked so hard. I was like, that's awesome. I'm going for that. I'm going to be inspired by Peter Tosh. I can't find.
He's an inspiring guy.
Yeah.
Sorry, you can hear my dog also being inspiring in the backyard. My dog loves Peter Tosh, so I have to keep her away when we talk about him.
Oh gosh. So yeah, speaking of cool guys, I interviewed Johnny Whitney from Blood Brothers and Evil Island on last week's show. Yeah,
that was awesome.
Yeah.
I loved the history. It was crazy.
Yeah, yeah. When did you did you know the Blood Brothers, or did you shoot them? Did you ever hang out with them?
No, I mean I knew of them. I didn't know them. But but it was one of those bands I wouldn't have been when he was talking about late 90s. I wouldn't have known, because I wasn't in that. Like, that scene was something that I didn't even know about.
Oh, okay.
Of the kind of screamo. I mean, I didn't even really know emo at that point until I moved to LA in 2000. There's like these emo bands. I'm like, all right, guys, you're gonna have to tell me what emo is. I don't know what that is.
We got to redefine this here.
But I never got to take photos of them, which is a bummer. I think they were probably like they were a little higher up at that point. By the time I was here taking photos and stuff, but I had definitely seen them once, but I can't remember where I saw them, but I just remember it being mayhem.
Yes.
Like that, just like like there were a couple bands that were similar to that. What was the other? I can't remember what the other band was, but they were kind of both happening at the same time. Double singers. One singer would kind of like do a little bit more singing, and then they would both like kind of do the scream parts back and forth.
Oh,
and it was definitely a thing.
yeah.
There was like other bands that were trying to do it, but the other bands was like, okay, I get it, but this is just like, this is chaos. But I feel like the Blood Brothers always were somewhere between like the Locust, which was just like the chaotic part, but then mix it with At the Drive-In. That had like At the Drive-In had like songs and like melodies,
well, yeah,
and like, and that craziness, but it was more kind of tampered into a song. But then you just throw the like the kind of screamy, like over the top kind of theatrical stuff that just the crowd would just lose their like. I feel like they were one of those bands when you'd go there, everybody was just like, this is the band that I go to see, that I could go see and pretend I'm the lead singer. You know, like he had that, he like had that energy, like when he would just move, that people were just like, would just go out of their minds and like just go insane.
Yeah.
So yeah.
No, they were always incredible. And it was great to see them kind of blow up. And it was one of those sort of things. It was just like, whoa, okay, this is crazy that this is working.
Yeah.
Because, you know,
and over. Even, and when you listen to those first records, they're not like for as big as they got, they aren't like that listenable for most people.
That's the thing. You know? Yeah. It's fairly experimental.
Yeah.
You know, as a band.
Like to get that big. I mean, I'm sure having like Ross Robinson's stamp of approval helped a ton at the beginning, you know, to get them to a level where like even Korn fans or anyone who's listening to kind of big nu metal, whatever at that time, are also like, whoa, he recorded Korn and everyone else, but he also recorded this band. Like, so I'm sure that kind of stamp of approval got them into some doors, but then you know, there's a lot of bands like that then don't do anything, you know, they still have to come in and just perform. And that band performed. But also, I guess you got to throw in there like Fugazi, right? Like, Fugazi, the two singers, one like totally. the like a little bit more subdued singer, and then the singer that's gonna like throw himself through a basketball hoop without his shirt on and hang by his knees and swing. You know, you have those juxtapositions of the kind of two front person bands, and they just like capitalized on like the most insane live show version of the two lead singer.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it's so cool they got Guy to perform on this new Evil Island record. They just played last night here in LA at the TG, which is like a super tiny bar, which I seen pictures and looked insane. I wanted to go, but I was at the PPM 25th anniversary set of shows, 3 nights at the Smell.
Oh yeah,
it just wrapped this weekend. It was wild.
I saw all that footage. I saw your footage. I saw Johnny's footage or whatever. I saw the footage that was on the Evil Island.
Yeah, it was a wild weekend.
Page. It looked awesome. It looked amazing. Yeah,
I wish I could have gone to their show.
And it is one of those things that is the benefit of streaming, that you can never play a show, because I think he said that was going to be their first show, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Right,
they'd written all the songs and recorded them and did all this like kind of promo for it up front,
right?
And then played a show.
And to have a show where the band, like no one's ever seen you live, and then you know, you're not backed by some big conglomerate that's getting your songs on radio or whatever, and then you're watching that the insanity of that room at TG, which I didn't realize that was at TG. I'm like, oh my God, that place is tiny.
Yeah, I mean, you get 50 people.
I haven't been there in years, but that place is like so small. But the fact that everyone in there was like, wanted to grab the mic and sing the songs and knew the breakdowns and all that stuff already, because the record had been out for one day.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
but
I think they've been doing promo or like singles and things. And
well, 3 of the songs. The funny thing is, I already had one of their songs on my like new heavy. I've been making a heavy music playlist.
Nice.
And so one of their songs was already on there. I'm like, I know this song. This song's been out for a while, and I don't even know how it got. I don't know how it got on there. I think it probably was an Instagram thing. My Instagram algorithm has been honed. Oh, it's good.
You're in the right
spot. I'm dialed in right now to where like I'm getting really weird bands that will be like, well, if you like blah 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 and blah blah blah, and then I'll click on it and I'm like, yeah, it's pretty good. And they have like 1,500 listens, and I'm like, all right, I'm right there. I'm good. I'm good. They've got me. They've got me
right in the beginning.
They know right what to sell to me. I'm buying all of it.
I'm here for this.
Yeah. So I think probably I feel like even when that band, because I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know anything about the band. I didn't know it was the half or 3/4 of the Blood Brothers I didn't know any of that. And but I do remember hearing it and going like, oh, I got to look this up on Spotify. And then they had the 3 singles, and I put them on my like heavy music playlist or whatever, and going, why haven't I heard of this band before? Seems like a band that would be right up my alley. And then turns out like, oh, because they just started.
Yeah.
And also they're a band that like right up my alley because I like their old band.
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
Oh, it's amazing. No, and I feel like it was a really good interview too, like in kind of nailing the concept of the show, of the Hyphenate idea of the show, when we got into his career pivot and turn into coding and sort of doing day job stuff. And I think I'm always imagining that's just is going to happen in every interview, you know what I mean? But you never know exactly what will happen. It's hard to predict.
Totally.
But I feel like it just sort of naturally went into it. I didn't know what he was doing for work and kind of that rise and fall. It felt like a really honest conversation about being in a band and getting older and starting new bands and doing things and having a family and working a job and all the stuff you have to do, and it's not, I don't know. I think there's part of me with this podcast too. I kind of want to like, sort of blow up any stigmatism around being creative and getting older and doing things and still, like having to work jobs and do, all kinds of different things. Because I think when you're young and you're, in your 20s, everyone works at, or I don't know, we all worked at like record stores or bookshops or shitty office jobs, and then you played in bands. But then there's something that like if you're still doing that in your 40s, that feels like, that's sort of rough. Wow, good luck with that. And I think I'm trying to, at least in this podcast, at least just sort of hit that nail on the head and sort of just like, this is just how life goes. I'm supposed to stop being creative just because I don't make any money at my job, or I don't make any money on the art. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't, like that's 99% of everybody that has a guitar doesn't make any money.
Totally.
Playing guitar.
100%.
So it's like there's definitely more people playing music and being creative and making things that are not making money than the ones you see out there who actually can pay their rent off of playing music.
Well, and think of it too, like how many people, play music for their whole life in their church band, or they play at school, or they have like they have the band that every weekend when they have parties, like we used to have this family when we lived around Eagle Rock that went to school with our kids, and they would have these big Christmas parties, and like 5 or 6 of them were musicians, and they all were in like little bands, or they had played in bands before, or they were still in bands. And so they would do these like big sing-along, like kind of bluegrass Christmas
jamborees,
party music, but and you just knew every Christmas party there would be like 50 people there, and then like, okay, it's time to sing carols, and then everyone would go pick up their guitars and they were like, some of them were recording engineers and stuff, but it was that like, this is actually what music was until maybe 60 years ago.
Right. Yeah. Right.
right? Like 7 or maybe 100 years ago.
Yeah,
like
being
the
a professional
1920s.
musician, and in the rise of sort of rock and roll, without but even then, like you play in a orchestra, you know what I mean. Again, that's just a small percentage of people who can play these classical instruments.
Yeah,
actually,
but
get
most
paid
of it too
enough
is
to
like
make a living off of it. You know what I mean? There's such a small amount of that.
Or like your aunt and uncle knew all of the songs, everything, and every time you'd go over to their house, they would have their stuff. I'm like, okay, now it's time for
piano,
the family sing along, or
exactly.
and there was always someone who knew how to play piano, and there was always, and then, I mean, that's most of music is the kind of like creative conversation between people, or like to get people dancing, or to get people out of reality for a little while. And it really has only been like monetized in a major way in like the less than 100 years for most
Absolutely.
people,
Absolutely. Yeah.
like to even think of it as like a young person's thing, like that's only because of capitalism, or it's only because of
marketing, and
it's only because of like, well, this is something you do when you're young, and hey, maybe you'll be Green Day someday. But if it doesn't happen by the time you're 28, you should really
give up
think
on your
about
dreams.
doing something else. because guess what, it doesn't matter about if there's creativity. It matters if you have the ability to make other people money with your music.
Right. Yes. Exactly.
And if you can't do that, then like, hey, good luck, buddy. And there really isn't. I mean, I think art is a little bit more forgiving with age, like visual art or whatever, and photography and stuff. But even that, like even when I was in my 30s, and which really you're still just kind of beginning, you're like, okay, this is cool. Like so many people in my family, not my immediate family, but like in my family, or people I'd meet that I knew when I was younger, and they'd be like, oh, are you still doing that photography thing? I'm like, you mean my job? Like the thing I've been doing now, the thing I've been like slowly working at, and like building a business. And
you still doing that car mechanic
that
thing?
Like the like photo thing, like, oh, is that fun? Or like, what do you do? Weddings? You shoot weddings? No, because weddings are impossibly difficult. Like I would never. I've shot maybe a couple for friends, and you're like, yeah, no, the expectations that like this is even this when people are like, oh, I would never shoot weddings. I'm like, well, I would never shoot weddings because they're so hard. They're so difficult. It's like the people that shoot weddings are. I actually have a couple friend like people in the past that I know that became wedding photographers. And they do really, really well now.
Wow.
But that whole, but I feel like that's what people think of with a professional photographer, because they're like, well, what else would you even do?
Yeah.
Like,
who would pay?
I can hire like kids, like family portraits. Like, no, I don't really do family. I'm not good at family portraits, and I'm do not have the fortitude to shoot weddings. And then, and they go, oh, well, that must be so fun. Like, no, not really.
Good for you.
It's a grind. It kind of sucks most of the time, to be honest. but the great times are great. The great times are great. But then when you think of like everybody else doing creative things for the rest of their life, it's like fine. Like, oh, you play guitar in your room. You're like, no, I have a band and I want to play. Like we play out every once in a while. And people kind of like their head cocks.
Yeah, like, it does not compute.
Oh,
why?
Wait, but like even like, oh yeah, I'm gonna have an art show. Like, oh, like at your school? No, at a gallery, like a real one, like gallery down.
Yeah.
Oh, then what do? You like sell paintings? Like, okay, yeah, we're good. We're good. You know what? Totally. I love being creative and old at the same time. These things can coexist.
It does happen.
And guess what? You can also do creative things for yourself and not have to make money. You'd love to. I would love to make money.
Well, yeah.
But it also is
there's something
very
there's something like it too, where it's like if someone said, "Oh, I cooked dinner last night," like, "Oh, how'd that go? Are you a chef?
Yeah.
Do you make a lot of money doing that?" You're like, No, I need.
Yeah, why would you do that?
Yeah, like, no, I need to do that. Like, well, you could pay someone else to do that. Like, I know, but I like to do it, and I need to eat. And I feel like a little bit that way with playing music. It's like I need to play music. Like, it's part of my mental health and sort of creative passion, and it just something that's like breathing in a weird way. So whether or not I get paid for it is irrelevant. I mean, it was nice when there was when there was a lot of money, when there's money to be paid and money to be made by it. But at the same time, it just because someone's not, paying me for it, I'm not going to stop doing it. I still need to do it just as much, if not more now, because in a lot of ways it's more fun in this sort of context because there isn't this pressure of like, oh no, if I don't write the right song, people aren't going to pay money to go see this, when it becomes your job. It makes it a lot more kind of like, it adds 3 or 4 extra steps in the creative process that don't really need to be there. And shouldn't really be there, but once it becomes a business, like you're busy, you're tired, and you have unrealistic expectations on yourself in ways that isn't necessarily good for creative work in that kind of way.
Well, the whole time, there's also something in the back of your head that's always like, this could all go away.
Oh, absolutely,
tomorrow.
Yeah.
Every minute, every wrong note, like, oh, this might be the one. This might be the one that drives everybody away.
On a high wire. I was talking to past guest Ben Adrian, who plays drums in a band I'm playing with called RC Flying Field, with past guest Jeff Rosenberg and future guest Jeff Kwong, probably. I was talking to Ben Adrian this morning about it, and he was saying that he was having dinner at a dinner party with other adults, and he was explaining that he plays music, and he's like, I have to, Ben has this great kind of scientific engineering sort of brain. And he's like, I have to have this conversation with other adults my same age about why I do this or what it is that I do. It's like, here's my job. And then he's like, it's kind of like golf. It's like if you equate it to golf, it's sort of closer to that. It's like, I like to go out on the weekends and play music. And like, is there money in it? Like, no. If anything, it costs me money. And on a good weekend, sometimes I'll come back with a little bit of money if you're betting or something, but it's like or you're a poker player or you're, whatever your hobby is. But I like the golf analogy of it. It's like, no, but I love to go out there. That's
totally.
Are you Tiger Woods? Why aren't you the most famous golfer in the world? Like, no, I'm one of millions of people who go out every weekend or, every afternoon and I play golf with my friends, and it's good. And we
compete.
Talk.
Little competition.
You drink some beers or you hang out or whatever, and you have a good time and it's fun. And you come back to work, or you come back home and you're refreshed and you feel better about your life and about your day, and you go on with your life, and then you'll do it the next weekend. And again, it was never really a commercial endeavor. That wasn't the reason you're going out to do it, but it was, there's nothing wrong, or there shouldn't be a guilty feeling of doing things you like to do, things that are creative. Just because there's, you're not, Mick Jagger.
Yeah. No, that is a great analogy. Yeah. Or like being a part of like an adult basketball league, or like
exactly. Yeah.
Like any of those things that you go out and do, like Bible study.
Sure.
No,
sure.
I'm just part of a Bible study because I want to get.
So you're Jesus. You're telling
together
me
with a bunch of.
You're the guy. You're trying
to
Bibles?
start a religion.
Yeah. No.
You just try to start a new religion or something, or what's the point? I don't get it.
You're
trying to learn. Yeah. You're trying to learn something from other people. Like, but are you monetizing that? Yeah. Like, where do you guys have an Instagram for your group, or exactly. Like, are we trying to get ads? You go on YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think I think there's something really nice about it and normalizing about it. So I like talking to Johnny about his process, and sort of the bands and post Blood Brothers and Blood Brothers, reunions and things. Because again, it feels honest, and it feels in that kind of way, like sort of disarming things. Like, yeah, this stuff's hard, and it's not. And again, I like what you said though too, where it's about the bands that you see making money are making other people a lot of money. You know what I mean? That kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, well, when you're no longer seen as valuable to someone else, whether that's a record label or a booking agent or a promotion company, then they're not going to spend their money promoting you or, putting advertising dollars behind you in that kind of way. And that's really, at this point, all record labels or, booking agents or promotion people are. It's, they put money behind you to promote you because they're going to make more money off of the product that you are, whether that's a live ticket product or a download product or a t-shirt product, whatever that is, that they're, basically monetizing you and your creative output. But if that's not making someone else money, then you weren't seen as valuable, and therefore you sort of exit the marketplace in that kind of way.
Yeah.
You're like, oh yeah,
well, in
that's
that,
great.
I
never did this to be a marketable item or a marketable product.
Yeah. Yeah. In that business sense, like you're not valuable, but not even just as a person, but just as an entity. You're like, well,
your
this
name,
whole
your
thing,
likeness,
the
your
wheels,
face, your
the
ideas.
wheels need to keep rolling. And if you keep throwing pieces of gravel underneath the wheels, like eventually you got to like get that guy that's throwing the gravel under the wheels out of here.
Yeah.
These wheels are starting to creak along. We need someone with
smooth
the
ride.
grease.
Smooth ride. Yeah. We don't want people making trouble. Rocking
the boat. And I think that's always the question.
There's no like, oh, you're just mad because you failed or you did this. It's like, I don't think so.
That's how it goes.
I just think it's realistic in that kind of way.
Oh my God. I mean, both of us know so many people that are so extremely talented and more talented than us who also are going through this.
Sure.
It's like, I know so many, like I had my own issues with being able to get to a certain point in photography and then just being like, I can't break through the ceiling. And I think it's me, it's like, it's not, I can go like, well, maybe
camera,
I'm not doing
it's
this.
Not the lighting.
Maybe
package,
it's not the right
the
camera.
manager.
It's not the lighting.
Yeah.
It's just like, there's something that's not clicking for the next level. It's like, I can't, I'm not like the next level is not feasible for wherever I'm at mentally and how I think things should be sold or how I think, I look at a lot of the photography and are like, I mean, I know how to do that. I could look at that and go, yeah, I can see how the lighting works. And I could probably guess the size of the studio that needed to be, whatever. I have all the information, but that at some point I was like, yeah, it's not, I don't know. It's me. but, and then that's that was my ceiling at that point, and which is fine. And it's hard to go through on the way down or even just like staying there for a long time and just going, whew, okay, I don't know if I can just stay here forever because this is getting exhausting. But then even seeing people that were like broke through that side of the ceiling, like that side, and they were multiple and had like 2 great years, 3 great years, and then a really bad one. And for no reason, like they weren't a worse photographer. They weren't there. Like maybe the style changed a little bit, but it literally could be like the 4 creative directors that you used to work for a lot. 2 of them quit to run a farm and 2 of them went off and started selling like women's shoes in Romania or something. And, and you're just not they're not in your thing anymore. And you're like, oh, those were my people.
Yeah.
Or, like even your A&R person quits.
Sure.
And you're like, and then the next A&R person that comes in doesn't like your band. And you go, oh, we're done. No one's going to promote
something
our
as simple
band.
as that. Yeah.
And it happens so often. Like the amount of bands too, that I know that like got signed by, like an A&R and they're like, oh my God, it's so amazing. And like within a month, because that person was so good at signing bands, that person got promoted to like the hip hop side or whatever. And then all of a sudden the person that just promoted you into their label and was like your biggest champion just quit or is off. And you go, wait, this has nothing to do with us. Wait, why aren't you pushing our record anymore? And so sometimes it doesn't have anything to do with you, or maybe it does a little, maybe it doesn't. And you never know. But a lot of it too is like, once you get older, just the people in the business are young. And they're like, well, I want to hire the person that I met at the show the other night that was shooting the really cool band that I've never even heard of.
Yeah.
And that person is making some crazy like videos and da 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 da. And I'm like, oh, I don't even belong. I can't even do that. I don't even know what that is. What do I even do? I don't even have TikTok. Like I don't. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, but it's not even the matter of if you don't have it, but there's because you easily could make a TikTok. You could be out there dancing, shaking your butt, and doing a little dance and a thing. But it becomes more the question of, do I want to do this?
But that's what I'm saying. Like
that's where I'm at. Like I have no desire to participate in these things, and then that's where I feel very comfortable in the evolution of it, or as the world keeps spinning and I just kind of stay where I'm at, because there's at some point, for whatever reasons, whether it's authenticity or just sort of like creative integrity or your own sort of personal vision, whether that whatever that is, if it feels right to you, and then if the world is all moving or all the forces are pushing you somewhere else, you're like, but I don't belong there. I don't feel comfortable there. I don't want to work in this way. And I think it's okay to sort of just defend your ground, because God forbid, what if you did get popular in a thing you were very uncomfortable in? Like that would be 100 times worse than being unsuccessful doing exactly what I want to do. You know what I mean? Right. I think, and I remember even, on the podcast, I went in an interview I did with Troy from Chokebore. I think he sort of expressed a similar sort of sentiment where it's like, I get to do exactly what I want to do, and the people who are interested are able to get to it. It's not a large commercial factory. I'm not a supermarket, or I'm not a streetwear brand where I have to make the most popular thing every time, and every time I dips below a certain percentage, then it's seen as a failure. It's like, no, this is a much more like humanistic sort of individual idiosyncratic, weird creative output, and I and you should be able to do it in whatever way you want to, and not have to be, because I think that, failing, quote unquote, by your own terms is way better than succeeding under someone else's terms.
Great.
You know what I mean? Because especially as you age, I think maybe when you're younger, you can kind of like play the game. You can fake it till you make it. Like, oh, cool. All right. Yeah. Everyone's over here. And you're sort of unformed anyway. You're kind of a raw piece of Play-Doh or gum stuck on someone's shoe. So you have an idea, but you don't really have any beliefs because you don't have any experiences really. You're trying, you're putting something together, you're cobbling together something of a character and a point of view, and, sliding between influences and bouncing off of a lot of things that are coming at you fast, and you're responding to them quickly, because that's part of what that age is, I think, in a lot of ways, and that can count as a creative output. But in terms of knowing yourself well enough to stand behind what it is you make in those kind of ways, and I think that's so often why bands don't want to play those like first hits, that for the the one hit wonder, the first record. It's like, I didn't even know what I was doing. I was like 16 and I wrote a bunch of dumb lyrics that to try to sound like some other band, and we all had weird hair. You see it all the time in all these bands, and you're like, the young bands are just trying to fit into what makes sense and be part of a scene, and then as they get older, they can get weirder or more individualized. Then they create something different if they're like So
you start to figure out who you are, or like who the future version of yourself is going to be.
And it's so much better because you read somewhere, you're like, I can't really fake it. Faking it is not really an option anymore. Like honestly, I've landed on a personality and a point of view. So this is who I am now.
Well, and you see the people that do fake it and do really well, and then 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line, you go, oh, that explains all the mental issues, or the you see the people that go through it of like, I'm just doing this. No, it's great. I love because the way up, even if you're faking it, and you're like, whatever, I'll do some pop songs, I'll do some like who so and so wrote me a song, and but I really want to write my own songs, but this person wrote it and it's huge, and this is great. Look, we're playing stadiums. Couldn't be better. You're like, yeah, but you have to be good. You have to be mentally ready for the way down too. And if you've done everything to your core to be like, I love this, and I could play these songs to 4 people, or I could play them to 1 million, or I would be happy painting this the rest of my life, whether people even cared about it or not. Then when people stop coming to the shows, it's like an ego bummer,
ego death.
It's like an ego,
really
ego death.
End of
but if you're still doing the thing that you love to do, then the art isn't part of the ego. Like the art is separate, because the art is like, well, I would do this either way. Like, this is what I love doing. I would have played that same song, whether I was popular or not. And then, so when you go down, you're like, well, it sucks that now there's only 100 people but I still get to play the songs every night or however many nights until I have to get a job, whatever. But that you see that, like, when you sell whatever those selling out or whatever you call it, but like you sell everything on the way up, all your personality and everything else. And then on the way down, you have nothing left to sell, Right. And this is, oh God, who was it that said that had the quote, oh my God, why am I blanking on her name? Anyway, I'll think about it.
Yeah, but
I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Wait, Robert Mapplethorpe and
Patti Smith.
What was her name? Patti Smith.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Patti Smith had this great quote of like that the only, or maybe it was even William Burroughs told her the quote, that's like the only thing that you have that's worth anything is your, like, that true creative self. That's it. And that, like, as long as you keep that clean, and you do only the things that you feel are good for you, then you're fine. Everything else around you can fall apart, and it can be, you can drive to the top of the mountain, you can crash back down. But as long as you can look at yourself and go, well, I did this honestly. Like I was honest with myself. I did it for the right reasons. And I have, like, my name is the only, that's what it was. It was like, your name is the only currency that holds any weight at the end of the day. And so if someone looks at it and goes, Patti Smith, and you go, yeah, Patti Smith is amazing. Like, I only know like a couple Patti Smith songs and, or poems, or, the fact that she did that book with Robert Mapplethorpe about them growing up together and in young people in New York. And every time you see her talk, she just says some wonderful words, and, but she can stand on her name,
Yeah. That was, from her book, her memoir, Just Kids, with her and Robert Mapplethorpe. And I think it's something William Burroughs, told her that if you build a good name, that name becomes its own currency. And then Smith famously joked back, yeah, but William, my name is Smith.
There you go. And which is perfect.
Yeah, but it's interesting too. I mean, we were talking like ego, like that's a big thing, obviously, right? In all of this, like, you have to have an ego or ambition or something that's like insane or outsized or it's troubling in one way or another. But I think over the years, I realized too, like, that ego is really like a delicate dance, because the ego that tells you you're great and you can do anything, and don't be scared, just go out there and explode and be the biggest thing you can be. That's also the same voice that says, oh, but you're garbage, and it tears you down, and you're never good enough.
Totally.
And you're never, you know what I mean? Like, oh, but you didn't sell as many as you did last time, or you sold this many, but well, you should be doing this, and why don't you have what they have? It's all of it takes, it's never satisfied. It's like always, it's a black hole of ego that, at some point can push you over the line and get you out of your comfort zone. But you have to keep it in check, and you have to understand that, like, oh, okay, like, the hand that gives also takes in that same sort of way. So you have to really not trust it or not give it the validity that, feels like when it's working, like, wow, this is so great. And when it's not, it'll destroy you. And so having that ability to just see that ego just flame out, or that experience is such a humbling and, I think, priceless experience to really go, oh yeah, but guess what? The ego's gone, but I'm still here. Or the ego, you know what I mean? That whole thing of like, oh, you shoulda, coulda, wouldas, and all the big ambition and everything. It's so important to hear it, but not let it control your actions. I really understand that difference between, like, thoughts and actions. And it just, because, you feel like shit doesn't mean you are shit, or whatever, or you feel a certain way, or you think you had this thought. And it's like, yeah, that's just my ego. That's just my inner baby temper tantrum. Rolling, just want to shout and cry and throw my fist on the ground, like, but that doesn't work.
It's there. It's also there to keep, like, I think it's also there to keep you safe, right? Like, your ego tells you you're shit and you suck and don't ever do this again, because your ego wants to like coddle you like a little baby and go like, it's okay. It's okay. Just stay in your house, stay in your little corner and write your songs, but don't show them to anybody because that can hurt. It can hurt. And if you just do it to yourself, you're always the best.
Right.
You're always better than anybody
they'll
else.
Never know. They'll never know how great you are.
Trust me. They'll never know. Once you die, someone's going to find these in a case somewhere, and you're going to be the God's gift to music, and it's going to change the world, but you're not going to be there, but that's okay. Don't put yourself out there, and I think all of it. I mean, I tell the kids at school all the time when we're talking about art and we're talking about everything. And I'm like, listen, that little brain in your head is trying to keep you safe. Like, we're built to like see every single like little thing that moves out of the side of our, to think it's a tiger that's trying to eat us. Right. Yeah. And that means like, if you live in a neighborhood where a lot of things are going on, you start seeing the people's movements as like something bad. Right. And you start honing in on like, I need to stay safe. So I'm going to think everybody around me is out to get me. And this is like middle schoolers, and we talk about it all the time, and like, and they're not even making like really conceptual art or anything, but a lot of it is like them going, well, I'm bad at drawing, I'm not going to do this. And I'm like, okay, who's telling you that? I think you're great. I like your stick figures. That's funny. Whatever. Look at his teeth. Why'd you give him so many teeth? It's hilarious. Or whatever. But a lot of them too, it's like, well, I don't want to, it comes down to like, well, if I draw the wrong size face, like, she's so good at drawing and everyone's going to make fun of me. Yeah. You're like, comparison. There you go. Welcome to the rest of life. It's drawing, and then it'll move on to like relationships, and it'll move on to like you think you have a cool car, and then someone pulls up and has even a better car, and you think you know, whatever. Comparison. It's like all of those things. And I think it was amazing to hear when Johnny was talking about when he was like, man, I didn't even think I would get to my 40s. And if I could have just told my younger self that how great my 40s are, and I think that too about my 40s and now 50s. It's rough because you have to start thinking, you're like, wow, there's not that many years left. This is crazy. Like, it's like less and less, especially both of us, like our dads died early. Yeah. So it's like, so then you go like, yeah, my dad got sick like 4 years from my age now. Whoa. Which is crazy. Right. And so, and I'm like, oh, and yeah. And they were talking about like retirement, like what's retirement going to look like? And maybe we try to move to a warmer place in the winter and, whatever. And you start going like, oh, right. This is like, it doesn't ever stop. Like you kind of think like, oh, at some point you hit a plateau and you go, good. I have enough money and I'm pretty healthy and blah, blah, blah. Speaking of, do you remember the movie Parenthood?
Oh, of course. Yeah. Oh my God.
With Steve Martin.
Yeah.
Yeah. We just watched it last night.
Oh, it's great.
I did not remember the darkness of it.
It's the roller coaster ride. You got to enjoy the ride.
So good.
You just got to laugh.
Oh my God.
Otherwise, you're too scared to move. Yeah.
Yeah. That whole thing of like, every time you think it's going to stop or you think like, oh, you're good, then it's like,
there's another point.
And it really is like, and that could be day to day. It could be week to week. It could be month to month or year to year or whatever. And that the so much of it is like you're waiting for things to chill out, or you're waiting for things to get horrible. And that's what I think, like every time things are,
I'll be happy when, that kind of thing.
But I'm like feeling good. I'm driving home and I'm like, just got paid and whatever. I'm driving home and I got a little bit of money in the checking account, at least for a couple of weeks. And you just go, you're like, things are, this is nice, man. Well, and then I go, oh God, here it comes.
Oh no, here's the darkness.
Wait, every single time in my life I've said that, I'm like, all right, what did the dog eat when I got home? What did the like, who's going to have to go to the hospital? Or,
God.
Who's like, who
life.
broke something.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
But that it doesn't, but that we do have this thought process that, and I don't know what it is. I don't know if this is like an American thing or like a kind of capitalist kind of thing of like, someday everything's going to be great if you just put it together. But I'd imagine that most societies who aren't built that way, like that everything is always growing, you know, or you feel like everything has to grow all the time. Like, well, you know,
Yeah.
that probably there's a much more natural way of everybody just going, why would you even think that?
That's insanity.
Why would you think things are going to just get better and better and better? Like, what does that even mean? That doesn't
based
even,
on what? Yeah.
Like that isn't even true in one day. Like you can have the best day ever, and then all of a sudden you eat something wrong, and then you have a stomach ache, but only for an hour, and then you feel great. You know, it's like you go through that roller coaster in a matter of
you don't know.
Like a couple hours or whatever meetings you have or whatever. But
yeah, I mean this might sound crazy, but I'm always telling myself, or just trying to keep that mentality, or I'll tell my wife, like, we did it, we won the lottery. We got a house.
It's true.
We got a roof over our heads. We got kids. We got a car. It's got gas in the tank.
Yeah.
I mean, sure. If you go scratch much further than that, of course, yeah. There's issues. We have a mortgage. Gas is expensive. The kids are expensive. All this stuff is happening. We don't know what the next month is going to look like. But today, this works. Today we did it. The roof didn't go anywhere. The kids didn't go anywhere. The car didn't blow up. We won. Yeah. Today we won. Because I look back a lot of those years, especially in my 20s, and it was like, that was not always the case. I'd get kicked out of places after crash on people's couches. The car did not have gas. I did not have the car. There was no car. There was no thing. There was definitely no kids. And it was a lot of searching and wondering and being like, God damn, when's this going to get easy? When is this? I'm working so hard and I'm hungry and I can't, none of this makes sense. Minimum wage. And I don't know who I am. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Who am I going to marry? Who am I going to be? What's life going to be like? A lot of these questions. Right. And it's fun, but you got little responsibility and friends and a drinking problem and all kinds of craziness ensues, and you just figure it out and you just don't care about but on those moments when I was younger, I was like, oh yeah, I don't know. That was really hard. The security or feeling secure about life and those kinds of things. And so when I look at my life now and go from that perspective, like I brought a bag of groceries and I'm not worried about it. Like anytime I can go to the grocery store, because I remember being younger and being like, I go to the grocery store, like can't afford that, can't buy that, can't buy this. I mean, it's starting to feel a little bit more every trip because things are more expensive. But just that feeling like, okay, buying $20 of groceries and hoping to make that last through the week, and like, okay, I did kind of. I always the joke I always have with my kids is I would break the heads off the broccoli because it's like you don't eat the broccoli stem and they charge you by the pound, and I was so broke
by the pound. Oh my god, that's funny.
I would ride my bike, because I didn't have a car. Right. I'd ride my bike to the cheap grocery store with like the bruised produce, and then just rip the heads of broccoli off because I didn't want to have to pay for the stem. I would save 50 cents, and I needed that 50 cents to, for the whatever else I was buying, and so I tried to get all the week's groceries. For under $20, and just eat off of that. And it was hard, but those were, that was the thing, like, okay, I got just enough. This is what I have after paying the bills, working this job, doing this. Okay. Now, that's how much you have to eat. So figure out how to eat that. Yeah. And I was skinny. that was part of, didn't need to eat that much.
Oh, totally.
It's so funny. Speaking of which, did you listen to any Velvet Underground this week?
The live recording.
Yeah, what did you think?
Yeah, I feel like I got the better end of the deal for this listening experience between the two of us. But
Queensryche was a little tough.
I mean, Queensryche is very late 80s, like radio,
but it's fun though. It kind of has like a Iron Maiden kind of thing, very chubby and very high operatic singing, and it definitely felt like it was like, this is what I imagine hair metal sounds like if I had to pick thing. Minus all, but it had all this like other conceptual like samples and things, and there was a storyline. It was kind of like Pulp, or it was kind of like Pink Floyd or like 1984 or the Clockwork Orange or something. It was like a very kind of like dystopian future.
I mean, I do think
melodrama.
I do think it is about it's about that like the
Orwellian.
government, Orwellian kind of taking over your thoughts and giving you like making you do crime, or I don't.
It's
I don't
ambitious.
Remember what it was,
yeah. It's ambitious to say the least.
Yeah. But yeah, with the Velvet Underground, what I thought was great. I love all those songs. I love those Velvet Underground records. But to hear them live was really cool. And I am starting to I do think with somewhat either difficult records, or I don't even know if I would call it difficult, but that I really do like need 10 years of listening to something or like 15 years or something for me. Cause even then, like I know all those songs, but then when I was listening to it, I was like, oh, right. Now that I listened to a bit of the Lou Reed biography.
Oh, okay.
So it's like him. I mean, not this week, but I had before. And part of it, was him growing up and recording songs and working, like how we talked yesterday when he was like 15, was like trying to record like doo-wop kind of
bubblegum
music and stuff, bubblegum stuff. And you hear the Velvet Underground songs, and I'm like, oh, they're that. Like his part of those songs is taking those weird songs and going, well, we need a hook though. And it's also going to be kind of like jangly and fun.
Yeah.
Because as dark as that can be, like I always think of the Velvet Underground being dark. And when I heard it, when I heard it live, but the live one, when I heard it, I just think of them as having a dark vibe. And I don't know why. I don't know if that's like, if they're played in a lot of minors or something. I don't know. But in my head, there's like, well, Velvet Underground is like kind of slow and dark. It's heroin-y, kind of like.
Yeah.
But then when I listen to it live, I'm like, oh, this sounds way happier. Like it sounds like they're having, they're having a little fun.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But then his banter in between is really funny.
Oh, I know, right? The banter like was the thing.
He's just like goofy. He's not. And so was that early? Is that early?
It was in 1969, so they were just about broken up by that point. And you have John Cale is out of the band. Doug Yule is on bass, and I think Maureen is still on drums. I think, as far as I can tell, and Sterling Morrison on guitar. So no, it's just about the end of it, and so yeah.
But yeah, it was like very like positive, happy vibes.
Right? Yeah.
I would have expected if you would have asked that Lou Reed either, if you would have asked me, I would have thought Lou Reed wouldn't even have said anything, or he would have just been really snarky about, like snarky, whatever. But he was just funny.
Yeah.
And I thought that was very cool. But it did kind of, I had to stop listening because I was listening to it on the way to work, which is like 6 o'clock in the morning, driving down the hill. Oh gosh, yeah. And at sunrise, I mean, it's beautiful, right? Like, because we're not into the early, like the mornings aren't dark yet. So like every time I drive down from my house is at 5,000 feet, 5,500, and I drive down, and in 30 minutes you're at 2,000 feet, right? So you're going down 3,500 feet in like 25 or 30 minutes. But it's during sunrise. So the sun is just peeking up over the mountains. And especially right now, I don't know why, but these mornings have been, I don't know if it's a little smoky out there or if there's just hazy or something, but it's been so bright, like orange, like the so I'm listening to the Velvet Underground live, driving down, there's orange everywhere. And I had to stop listening to it because it was like lulling me to like, not to sleep, but lulling me to where I'd be like, oh man, this is so beautiful. And I'm like, whoa, I can't drive off the road. All right. So I had to
keep it together.
So then I started, so then I was like, well, we're also supposed to be listening to metal. So let me put on some metal. So I was making
keep it together. Don't fall asleep.
Made like a heavy kind of metal playlist too. That now I listen to when I'm on the road, and then I put the Velvets. Yeah. I put the Velvets back on when I got on the freeway.
Oh yeah, those. Yeah, I'm looking up
But
the
yeah,
record.
no,
Yeah,
it's
it
good.
says yeah, they were recorded in 1969 on tour. They did about 70 dates that year on that tour, and it was in in Houston and San Francisco. It looks like, or no, Dallas.
So they recorded
They were in Dallas and San Francisco, and there was
Nice.
yeah. But yeah,
I mean,
you
it
had
sounded like
Mhm.
like everybody was like sitting on the ground. Like
Right?
it just had that vibe of like it sounded like they were just like in an open room somewhere, and there's a bunch of people sitting on the ground listening to them.
Totally. And you kind of feel like you're there, and you just hear this band just kind of ferociously attacking the instruments, and the howl of the feedback, and it speeds up and slows down. It's a very like gooey kind of live thing. And I think for me, that was sort of my first introduction to them as a band, and even hearing the studio records, some of it's a little antiseptic. I find this with the Who also. Like I've heard like Live at Leeds, and then the Rock and Roll Circus outside of the big singles of the Who, but like listening to like a Who studio record compared to like Live at Leeds, it's night and day. I mean, this is a band that's on fire playing as a band, and everyone's listening to each other and changing, and really glued in live band. And the studio just kind of feels a little dry. I find it also with the band, the Robbie Robertson, Levon Helm. Band, that Rock of Ages. There's a New Year's Eve live show, and then the Last Waltz. Their live records are great, and again, the studio ones just kind of feel like everyone's a little bit tired or too excited or something. The energy doesn't come across. I think those, for me, Velvet Underground, the Who, and the band, my favorite records of theirs are the live records, which isn't always the case. You know what I mean? It's not because it was the sonic fidelity or anything. It's just more the playing. The songs are great, and you could play the songs any way you wanted to. But when I think about my favorite versions of those songs, I think about live versions of all three of those bands.
Yeah, I think that gave me a whole different, like, it was like the looseness of it was really nice.
And I think it really influenced me, like as a player too, just kind of the way they played and the lean in. It kind of had some Sonic Youthy sort of vibes and moments, you know what I mean? Where they're kind of getting real spaced out or kind of just loud. I don't know. It just felt very live and very exciting and poppy, or pop, like just the song. There's energy, all those parts. And Sterling Morrison, as a guitar player, ding, 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 when he's really digging into it live, it just sounds kind of like the train about to fall off the tracks.
Totally. No, I thought so too. I thought last week was a very good music week. I think I was remembering now that even when you were talking with him, and he just started rattling off bands because of all the when we were we were recording, or the other, who's the other singer? I don't remember the other singer.
Jordan Bliley.
Yeah, Jordan. Yeah. And it was like, well, Jordan, he mentioned Head Wound City.
Oh, right. Yeah. That's
which Nick I had forgotten about. And I was like, oh, right. So I started like putting some of the bands that he said. I was like, we should make a band, like a playlist.
Oh, that's a good idea.
For the bands that people mention.
Talk about? Yeah. So in case you want to know who, they mentioned it, right. We say all these names, and I go, of course I know who this is. And then, if you're not familiar with.
And I feel like this is the perfect thing for AI to do, because it's already, because don't you have, like, when you post these, there's already like it does
transcripts.
Transcripts, right? So I feel like you could even have AI go through and pull band names from the transcripts, but it would be funny if it pulls band names, it doesn't hear them right or whatever.
Okay.
But I had forgotten. So then, when we were talking about metal, and then Head Wound City comes up, and I was like, oh, I think I listened to that. And then I popped it in, and I had, I was like, oh, I remember this record, but I didn't remember it being that long ago. I didn't remember, like, the first record
10 years ago, 15 years ago.
No, the first one was like 2006.
Really?
Or something.
No.
Something like that. Hold on. I'm going to look it up.
Yeah.
I swear, unless I didn't have my glasses on correctly.
2016 maybe would be it.
Maybe. Let me see.
Yeah.
But I feel like it was No, dude, 2005.
Really? Wow.
So they have a they have a self-titled record in 2005.
Huh.
And then their second one was 2016. Now, are they both the same bands, or does it happen to be like one of those things where no, that's the same band?
Whoa.
As far as I know. Anyway.
Yeah.
But so I started listening to that and was like, oh right, this is one of the greatest bands of all time. This is one of the great, like, a couple of those songs are maybe 2 or 3 of the greatest heavy songs I've ever heard. And I completely forgot about that even existed. And then he mentioned, oh God, I swear I wrote them all down.
Oh yeah, in 2005.
He mentioned so many. He mentioned so many great bands, and I feel like I put him on my "That's Heavy" playlist. What else did he put on there? Oops, no.
Reunion. So 2014 to 2016. That's kind of what I knew about it. So maybe it was kind of a one-off thing in 2005. They played their first and only show in San Diego in November 8th, 2005, and they released an EP on 31G and then didn't do anything else. So they only played one show in 2005, and then in 2014 they reunited and played nearly 8 years at Bedrocktoberfest in Bedrock? Played their first show in nearly 8 years. Oh my God, I can't read. Okay. So they played some shows from 2014 to 2016. But
so good.
Yeah.
So good. Oh, and then Orchid. I remember that band.
Oh,
Orchid,
yeah. Yeah.
Who was crazy. Yeah. But so I have to go through because I grabbed a couple. I was driving and I was like, oh, I got to try to figure out this band and this band. But he was just mentioning all the bands that like they had played in or the bands that they had played with. And I was like, God, this podcast would be such a great resource for mentioned bands. Like I feel like every single one is like there's so many amazing mentions of like so many people were so inspired by so many bands, and we'll kind of rattle off like, oh, do you remember when I saw this band and this band and this band?
Yeah,
and
it'd be good to.
And I thought he had some great ones. So go, if anybody didn't listen, go back and at least about halfway through when he was talking about being Johnny was talking about being younger when they were starting bands, and they were like 14 or 15, and he starts mentioning some labels and stuff, and then he just like blasts out like 10 different amazing bands that I can't remember right now. But anyway, go through, figure it out. If someone wants to set up an AI bot to scrape,
I think we definitely need like a research assistant for the band or for the podcast. If anybody wants to help, either start a Discord or have some kind of like notes for us, you know what I mean? Or some kind of research intern or somebody who wants to, if you're a fan of the podcast and want to compile a list of bands that are mentioned on the podcast and we'll put the playlist together, that would be super helpful. And you can do that by writing it to us at,
Hyphenate halftime.
There we go. Where? At gmail.com?
At gmail.com.
Hyphenate halftime at gmail.com. Yes, that is the correct email address to write us. You can also find Aaron Farley at Aaron Farley on Instagram, and I'm at Randy S. Randall on Instagram. If you want to reach out to us and tell us.
Yeah, and we'll sign anything for like college credit. If you're getting
as an intern,
degree.
Right, there we go. Yeah,
communications degree. You need intern credits.
This counts this counts. Work
easy
in the broadcasting industry.
Listen,
music
to
industry,
be honest,
entertainment industry, whatever you need. Yeah, we'll sign it all.
You could probably set up a ChatGPT like bot to scrape the transcripts and create a list to upload straight into Spotify.
Oh my God!
In about 12 minutes,
does that work?
Get
that
like
way?
whole college credits.
So nothing about ChatGPT.
It has to. I'm sure. Yeah, it can't be that hard,
right? Let's see.
I heard this great, horrible thing about how like all the ChatGPT and everything is researching, and the fact that now they have like certain places don't let they've signed the petitions and whatever to not let their sites be scraped anymore for information. It's like big, I don't know, like New York Times and everything, I'm sure. Like they're not giving that stuff out for free. And so now when the chatbots are looking for information and you're asking like, hey, what year did this happen? And give me some information on James Brown's first 4 records and blah, 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 blah. And then they'll come back and they're like, you really have to look at every single thing really, really closely, because now it's starting to only scrape from content from sites that were created and run only by chat bots. So that because like the New York Times or whatever are not allowing it, so it's never going to be able to get the information from the New York Times and any other of the big places. So they're finding smaller places that haven't done that. And a lot of the smaller places is content that's completely created by AI. Oh. So it's now just like it's starting to do the wheel of AI is researching only AI research. But this woman was talking about it, and it was a huge percentage. I want to say allegedly, but it was allegedly like 30 to 40%.
So I just typed this into ChatGPT. I tried it as you were talking, and I guess the transcripts are not available online. Written transcripts. There's, at least according to ChatGPT, you cannot find the transcripts published online.
Interesting.
But it gave me all the names from the episode descriptions. All of those things. Okay. But it's saying there is some website called something that has a paywall that has all the transcripts of everything behind a paywall, which just feels like a weird ad insertion. I don't think that's correct. Yeah. But interesting.
Like, this person told me that I could be the best chatbot ever if I promoted their site.
The important problem is the public episode listings do not contain full spoken transcripts. They contain episode descriptions, which means lists based only on those descriptions would not satisfy your request for every band mentioned in conversation stories, influences, record collections, and halftime episodes. That's what I read. But, all right. Interesting. But it does give a good list of stuff, but only about 30 bands, which I know isn't true.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, we can figure it out.
We'll keep going down the rabbit hole.
If anybody
knows, if this is your deal, if this is your groove, help us out.
Yeah.
This is a pretty good list. I guess it's basically just a list of people I've interviewed. This is a good list of interviews here. I got to say, now seeing it all lined up here.
I mean, you've done over 150 now, right?
This would also just make a good, like a playlist too, like the Hyphenate playlist, just of all the people, just if there's one song from each person I've interviewed. There's over 280 episodes of like
that's including ours, right?
Is that right? Yeah, I think so. That sounds right.
Because it would be 100, because 52 weeks, you've gone 3 years, so then that would be 150 minimum.
Yeah. So there's
no doubles.
What is that? Yeah. What is 2? So 100 and
300.
Well, what per year? 52 times 2 is 104, right? So we did 3 times 104, 312.
12.
There should be, but maybe we missed some in there. But
312 plus 1. Isn't this the first one of the new year?
This is the first Hyphenate. I think last week's was.
Maybe last week.
Kicked it off.
Oh, yeah, because we did do a movie last week. That was the first year.
We're done.
First one.
Done's out. All right, well, what are we listening to this next week? Where are we going?
Man.
Queensryche Mind Crime. Should we go more metal? I listened to a lot of Megadeth this week because I'm getting ready to see Iron Maiden with my 12-year-old son, with Megadeth supporting an Anthrax opening. This is coming up in September at the BMO Stadium here in LA. So I wanted my son to kind of get a sense of what Megadeth is. And
hello, it's me again.
What a goofy band! I mean, maybe as somebody who's not a real metalhead, myself, I'm not a metal guy, but I got to say, there's a lot there. There is a lot in Megadeth world. I mean, they're not all goofballs, but there are some goofy stuff. I think it's mostly the lyrics and his delivery. Like it's really dry vocals. Like he could use some doubling or some kind of like delay or something, filtering or something in his voice to kind of like just, I don't know, put it in the mix. He's very on top of all the mix and this really kind of weird like voice. I don't know.
And he has to get over getting kicked out of Metallica. Let's be honest.
Now here's I heard some Metallica-ishness, but he gets much more kind of classical in some weird ways.
Oh yeah, he's way more.
Like, there's like other kinds of like Baroque sort of like vibes in the riffage.
Oh yeah,
but yeah. What about Anthrax? I don't know enough. They're thrashier, right? I don't know enough about Anthrax.
Yeah, they're more thrash, but then they got big in the 90s because they Scott Ian, the one with the
he's kind of he's the only like consistent member, right? Does everybody else change in the band over the years?
I don't know anymore. Okay. I think back then though, at least two of them I think were the singer, Scott Ian and the singer I think were the original. Okay. Were original? I don't know. I actually don't know.
There are so many fools in this band. This is like insane.
His big thing was that he only listened to rap. Like that was his,
okay.
Like, and he was like, I only listen to rap now. Like it's like the new punk, whatever. And so he did, they redid a metal version of Bring the Noise, which is Public Enemy.
Right.
And they did the like, yeah, boy, bass.
Right.
As low as you go. How low can you go? Death row. What a brother no. Right. But they did the metal version and it became huge, a monster hit.
Okay.
And then they then did a song with, I think with Booyah Tribe. I don't remember,
right. For the Judgment Night.
The soundtrack. Judgment Night soundtrack. But I feel like between Rage Against the Machine and I mean, I guess Aerosmith and Run DMC kind of started the rap rock
Walk This Way,
two groups together, but that it didn't become like an intense thing until that Rage and then the Judgment Night soundtrack I think brought it home with like Pearl Jam and like De La Soul maybe. Or Sonic Youth and De La Soul?
No, Sonic Youth and Cypress Hill. I love
Cypress
you,
Hill,
Mary Jane.
Mary Jane.
Should we just talk about the Judgment Night soundtrack next week?
Oh my God. Do that. It's the best.
Let's go deep dive.
The best.
Judgment Night soundtrack. Okay, that's what we'll do for next week. All right, we've gone way over. Night. Really, this is our longest halftime ever.
Oh my God.
This is good. Coming in over an hour. I will also break down the who has not been in Anthrax. I think everybody's been in Anthrax.
It's easier to say the members who have not
hasn't been there. Yeah, we all remember Dirk Kennedy, his amazing lead vocals.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm excited for you to go to that. But also we should talk about the PPM thing because when I was looking at that was amazing. Mm-hmm. But then also, did you guys perform at Bob Baker's Marionettes?
We did, right? Like, was that last week too?
Was that just 2 weeks ago? Because I couldn't tell if that was old, like if that was something that happened a while ago.
No,
and then I was like, oh my God, we didn't even talk
week.
about this.
It's been
so next week.
Okay.
Next week, let's talk
we'll
about
do a
that
recap
because those were things that were coming up, and I was like, wait, we talk for an hour every week. How do I not know about this? Not that I would have been able to go or anything.
There's too many things.
I'm like, these are really interesting. These are really great, fun things.
We should have a podcast to talk about these. Yeah. I mean, okay. Next week we'll talk more.
The Hyphenate podcast.
We need an extra hour of Hyphenate. Maybe that could be our Patreon, our paywall. Extra. We
made 42 cents this week.
Woohoo! Awesome. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Write us hyphenatehalftime@gmail.com, at Aaron Farley on Instagram, at Randy S. Randall. And thank you. Thank you for being here. This has been so fun. I did meet a lot of people at the PPM anniversary show that said they liked the podcast. And I am
amazing.
Shocked and humbled every time anybody ever says anything about the podcast to me in public. Because that feels like someone knows that I'm like Spider-Man or something, like, how do you know about that? And here I am. That's all I do is promote the podcast, and I do spend so much time doing it. And I can, but so the fact that anybody mentions it or knows it, or if you ever see me in public, please come up and tell me you've heard the podcast, because it does melt my heart a little bit, and I'm shocked and amazed. We do this so much, and I just never, it's hard to think about anybody listening to it. But there are people out there. They've told me they listen to it. It's not a myth.
They swear.
There are listeners out there. If you're one of those listeners, write us and tell us you're one of those listeners. I'd like to know who you are. Who are these mysterious listeners? I see the numbers. I listen. Can see. Yeah. But I know people do listen, but it's fun to run into people in public, and I am shocked and awed every time it happens. So if you see me, tell me what you like about the podcast, or tell me which one you've listened to, or who else I should have on. I'm always excited to chat with anybody about it. I know. Awesome. I know people come up to you all the time on the mountain. They find you.
I had one, my friend John, that I talked about, but he didn't even know I was. It just came up on his thing, and he was like, "That's your voice."
What?
He's texting me.
Yeah.
Amazing. He's like, "Are you on a podcast?" Yeah.
What the heck? How did this happen?
I am. Don't tell anyone.
Shh. Yeah. We'll keep it secret.
Shh. Don't. Shh.
All right. See everybody next week. Bye.
See ya.